I'm not trying to pump Texas up too much, but there are some interesting storylines. I mean, there's this schedule now that plays into it where, again, you're probably favored in 11, if not all 12 of your games. At the minimum 10, but probably more like 11 or 12 games you'll be favored in. And for Ewers, I mean, I think him and Sark both. This last year was a step up, and there was some progress made. But I do feel like, there is some looking at Sarkisian like, okay, like where do you take this now? Had a nice year, it's fine. You broke in your new quarterback, you lost your bowl game, so it didn't end on the highest of notes. But it was a good year overall. It was growth. But they definitely need to see some more growth this year. So how much do they see? And the same applies to Quinn Ewers. Like, he was good last year. Sometimes he was fine. Sometimes he looked great. Sometimes he looked like a young player who hadn't played a lot. And now he's got a bunch of games under his belt. And
an off season.
And quite frankly, he'll be NFL eligible. So, if he's that golden arm, like a lot of people have thought, I mean, let's not forget how many people were like, he'll play 2 years, he'll be gone, he'll leave, and okay, well, this is year number 2 then, and technically year 3, so he could leave. So, there's thoughts like that as far as Texas goes this year, and just storylines of, some expectations.
I'll give you just some points of comparison of, okay, how many people outside of like the true recruitniks in the world knew about Anthony Richardson at Florida?
Not many.
Okay, Anthony Richardson's out in the NFL draft this year, and everybody who knew anything about college football knew about Quinn Ewers. Everybody knew about Quinn Ewers, so he's already well thought of. He's also, while I would say that if it was this year was that year he was draft eligible, I would definitely tell him, hey, you got to stay put for a year. But if he improves, which I don't see any reason why he wouldn't, one, and two, he did nothing last year to make me think he's not a guy who can win games in the Big 12 consistently. He didn't do anything. Now, was Texas in a position where Quinn Ewers could win the game for him by himself last year? No, but that's not completely on Quinn Ewers now, is it? So while I'm not trying to, anoint him a Heisman Trophy winner or anything like that, I don't see any reason why he shouldn't be better.
When he was in the list for Heisman trophies last year early on, that was silly.
Yeah,
that was silly.
But my point being is, if the quarterback coming behind him was named Arch Johnson and not Arch Manning, nobody would really be talking about that.
Alex Brown, let's be honest, guys. For a team, we're going to break here and then come back again. We'll have Chris Pesman, AD at Houston, and also Gus Malzahn, the head coach at UCF, at the 2 o'clock hour. Let's be honest, for a team to go unbeaten in this specific Big 12 conference, you need either an OU or Texas schedule or TCU luck, where you injure every starting quarterback. I shouldn't even have read that because now here comes. But Alex, stop. TCU had a hell of a run, no question. Absolutely a hell of a run.
I understand what you're saying, and I understand what he's saying, and there's points to be made both ways. They were very fortunate. You could look back at how much of a tightrope they walked. They could have lost 5 games. Mm-hmm. It's amazing what they did. It won't be, easy to replicate that, even if they feel now like, okay, we've been there, and now we'll get the recruits from that run, and that's very true. And, you think that you're just in that stratosphere now, but, it's one thing getting there. It's another thing staying there, and they are losing Max Duggan, and how many times did he bail them out last year? Quite a bit. Quentin Johnston, how many times did he help out matters last year? Quite a bit. Both of their running backs, they're losing a bunch of their offensive linemen. They're losing a lot. I know that they've got what's his face from Temple, the tight end, coming back.
Jared Wiley.
Yeah, Jared Wiley's coming back, so that's good. I know that TCU won't be lacking in skill talent, but my gosh, you lose some really good players, and you did win a bunch of tight games with banged up quarterbacks playing last year. So yeah, I understand the sentiment for sure.
Well, I'd rather do that than have what some schools had, where they couldn't win the close games this year and ended up not going to a bowl game.
And we saw Baylor 2 years ago do that, and then they turned around and did what last year?
Lost the close game.
Yeah, and it was a much different feeling. So that's what I'm saying. I can understand where you're coming from. Is TCU had the lucky side of the coin when for the most part, obviously not at the very end. They could have had a bag of coins and it wouldn't have mattered. They could have had a bag of coins to bang George over the head with. It wouldn't have mattered. But, yeah, I mean, there's reason to believe that that's not going to be replicated. But who knows? Maybe Sonny Dykes surprises people once again and they just reload and move on about their business. That'll be the fun part is getting to see.
All right, when we come back, more to come. We're going to be on until 4 o'clock Central today. Again, we start